So what's really bothering me, boys, is that nobody is going to sit here and talk to us about MVP versus Jared Cannonier. Now, I understand why. It's on UFC 319. That's the Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev card. So right there, that's taking up all the headlines. Everybody is just thinking about DDP versus Khamzat Chimaev. It's been happening to me. I've been thinking about all the ways that Khamzat Chimaev isn't even going to make it to the octagon. All the ways that DDP is going to beat Khamzat Chimaev before they even step into the octagon. The mental warfare. The Jumbotron might unscrew and fall on Khamzat Chimaev before DDP even makes his entrance. Things like that. You know what I'm saying? But there's a very interesting fight on UFC 319, and it's Jared Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page. Nobody's even talking about this. This fight's at 185, which is normal for Jared Cannonier, but it's like a second off for MVP. You know, he did do good at 185 against Shara Bullet, and he decided, you know what, the big fights are at 185, so I'm going to stay here. Now look, Jared Cannonier is not the most impressive striker you'll ever see in your life. That dude is tough, though. He's an absolute savage. His last fight was against Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop. He went out there and absolutely got his ass whooped for 2.5 rounds, and then woke up and beat Gregory Rodriguez's ass. He woke up and he decided, you know what, I'm not going to go on a 3-fight losing streak. I just got beat up by Carlo Borralho. I just lost a razor-close decision against Nasser Nurmagomedov. I'm going to figure this out. And he woke up and he put the pressure on not Carlo Borralho, on Gregory Rodriguez, and he did his thing. Michael Venom Page, though, I think is going to be able to handle Jared Cannonier, which is going to be a little interesting to see. Jared Cannonier is a big boy, even for 185. Right? In my opinion, Jared Cannonier looks a little bit more muscular and cut than Paulo Costa, which is just like a little bit insane to say, but it is what it is. Jared Cannonier is a way bigger fighter than Michael Venom Page. He's actually supposed to be at 185. Michael Venom Page looks like he's supposed to be fighting at 170. All right, tall, lanky, not a lot of muscle mass on him. Jared Cannonier walks around like his nickname, the Killer Gorilla. Dude is absolutely ripped. It's a little bit insane. But Michael Venom Page is like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. You know, you can't really train for this guy. He's going to give you looks that you've never really seen before. He's going to give you like these weird wind up uppercuts, shit like that. Things you've never seen before, okay? He stiffened Shara Magomedov, which was just like a little bit insane because you could tell Shara definitely took some notes just from watching MVP, watching Stephen Wonderboy Thompson growing up, seeing things like that, the freestyle, the karate. He took those notes growing up, and he got masterclassed by the master. All right? MVP is going to keep Jared walking forward. MVP is totally fine fighting on the back foot. He's going to be encircling Jared Cannonier almost the whole night. And there are paths for Jared Cannonier to victory right here, and it's KO TKO. You know, I don't really see Jared Cannonier getting a submission win. I've never even seen him get a submission win ever. Oh yeah, he has 3 submission wins. Wow, that could have surprised me if that was on like just like a questionnaire sheet. Does Jared Cannonier have any submission wins? I would have been like, no, 0, none, zilch. But only way, obviously, to victory with my boy MVP here is gonna be through pain. Through absolute pain, but this is just going to be a fireworks fight for UFC 319, and the title implications are there. Now, Jared Cannonier is literally 1-2 in his last 3. I made it sound a little bit ridiculous saying like 1-4, 1-5. He's 1-2 in his last 3. That's not that bad. All right. Now, Michael Venom Page is 2-1 in his last 3, and that was against Ian Gary. You know, it was still a good showing. I could have seen a path to victory for my boy, but he did get his ass whooped against Ian Machado Gary. His track record in the UFC is pretty solid. He's 3-1 in the UFC. Not that bad. But the title implications, if somebody wins this, they're on the same card as Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. Now, allegedly, Carlo Borralho is going to be filling in as like the backup fighter for this fight, but you best believe if somebody gets hurt, Jared Cannonier or Michael Venom Page are going to be bouncing to get that spot, okay? They're going to be trying to act like Renato Moicano when he was supposed to fight Beneil Dariush, but Armand decided to do spins for Nita Drama. All right, that's what's going on here. We are going to be seeing absolute fireworks for UFC 319. You know, normally they don't beg you to buy these cards. They don't even barely ask, all right? Edson Barbosa is on the opening fight of UFC 319. They're literally just begging you, please, please buy this card. But if Michael Venom Page comes off with a win here, right, we probably will be seeing Michael Venom Page versus Rainier de Ritter. Think about how of a weird world that is. Okay, we're just getting the absolute weirdest matchups at 185. It's just like comical, like literally comical at this point. Dricus du Plessis is the champion of the Mickey Mouse division, and it's honestly not even his fault. He's a badass fighter. It's just like, what is going on here? You know what I mean? RDR, style of fighting, comical, drunken fighting. Dricus du Plessis, style of fighting, drunken wrestling. Do you see this foot right here? Get the foot out the frame. You know what I'm saying, boys? Hey, but this is gonna be a good fight. You see that foot that just came on screen from a random direction? That's what Jared's gonna be seeing in the octagon. Okay, he's gonna be sitting there, so like bam, bam. MVP's gonna be giving him crazy looks. All right, we're putting the house on Michael Venom Page, and after Michael Venom Page goes out there and beats up Jared Cannonier, I want to see MVP versus RDR made. Actually, win, lose, or draw, I need to see MVP versus RDR made. All right, let's keep it a buck. That's what the UFC wants. That's what the fans want. And we're the mouthpiece for the fans. All right, boys. Anyways, I'll catch you guys later. 319 is around the corner. We have just one fight night away from UFC 319. We need to see Roman Dolidze beat up Anthony Hernandez, boys. All right? No edits tonight. I'm sorry. We're going right off the cuff. I even have the headphones on. We were streaming earlier. Want to catch me streaming video games? Links, it's in the bio. Go click on the link tree, all right? I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Hope you guys have a good one, and I'm out of here.